welcome. We are back. Another day in the market. This mic might be a little bit off. Alright, so hopefully this is better for the mic. What's up, Nerve Tenderfoot, the guy, Corey in the chat. Trying my best. Got stuck up in class. I know I said I was gonna finally do the normal stream schedule. Viewership is always like double or triple whenever I'm on like a consistent schedule. And I'm half an hour late. It's the second day into my consistent schedule, but I'm working on it, okay? Really appreciate all the support lately. What's up, Max in the chat as well. And yeah, the markets, I think it's looking a little bit toppy over here, at least for the Qs and the SPY. So we're going to talk about that. Bitcoin, Ethereum going absolutely crazy. Coinbase was up 10% today. We had NEO up 5% today, BILI up 6%, so some Chinese names bounced, it seemed like. We're going to go over it all. Palantir was up 10%. Nvidia was up 3%, JD was up 16%, Plug was up 11%, so different areas of the market seeing some light today. Starting off with Bitcoin, just kind of an inside day today after scraping above all-time highs yesterday and then pulling back $10,000. So right now you're at 66K. I don't think there's much you can really do, at least on a daily time frame for right now. That top orange line is pretty much previous all-time highs, right around 69K. Pretty ironic, but yeah, I mean, until we really see what reaction overall we get to this area, it's more of a coin flip. If we look at Ethereum, I mean, that is much better than Bitcoin and pretty good looking. I mean, you kind of had that doji candle, but the bulls really stepped up and they're like, okay, there was a little bit of indecision yesterday, but we're still in control, and they're able to solidify a bullish engulfing candle for the close and get your close above 36K, which you can see is above this high over here and this low over here. Your next big level on Ethereum is 4445. All right, so that's really where it could be headed to next. I actually did buy a altcoin today for the first time in a while. I used to trade this quite a bit because I used to just have a very tradable range back in the day. I've had some pretty decent wins on this name when I used to trade crypto a lot, and today I actually bought some of it. I was even trying to buy another crypto apart from the one I'm about to show you. I don't know if I'm going to talk about that one for right now, but I was trying to buy something else, but I had to make like an account on Uniswap, which is like some sort of crypto wallet thing, and because it's not really available on Coinbase or the other crypto accounts I have, and I haven't used them in a while, and I forgot a lot of my passwords, so I really wonder what those accounts look like. I left like a lot of crypto accounts I used to have. You know, I would have a decent amount of money in them, and then I withdrew most of the money, but a couple of those accounts I left like a couple $100 in. And like, who knows, some of these coins have gone up like 10x since then, so who knows what would have happened to those accounts. I can't even log into them because I forgot the passwords. So I guess I'll find out one day. I actually did have one account which like tripled, not on this bull run but on the previous bull run, and I figured out the password. It was some nice free money. Technically not really, but yeah, basically I was trying to get another crypto on Uniswap and my bank would not let me get it because this Uniswap was only taking debit cards. They weren't taking like ACH or anything else, and I like literally spent probably 2 hours today trying to put money into it. And called up my bank like 3 times. There's nothing they could do, so I could use like MetaMask or another wallet, but then the fees are like much higher, and then I have to pay a fee to buy it with cash. I also have to pay a fee to transfer it from MetaMask to Uniswap, and the fee comes out to like hundreds of dollars. So like, I'd rather just buy it directly on Uniswap, and it's like a $10 fee or something. I even tried to buy it on my Coinbase. I know I'm kind of ranting right now, but whatever, we're talking about crypto. I even tried to buy it on my Coinbase account, but the thing is, I think you have to wait like 3 days or something until, like, I had to buy Ethereum to buy this other coin, and I think you have to wait 3 days when you buy Ethereum on Coinbase to be able to transfer it outside of Coinbase. So I tried a lot of different things, and I'm pretty much just stuck waiting for a response. But yeah, the coin I was able to buy today on Coinbase, however, was OXT. I used to trade this coin a lot, and really this has been in this range between 5 cents and 14 cents for a year and a half. And actually, really even before this, like this crazier run on Bitcoin. I know it was already going up. It had a random spike up to 14 cents and it dropped back down to 8 cents. And what I really like here is that for the past 2 months, there's just been a lot of accumulation. It has been going up quite a bit, but like it's kind of like a steady incline. And then yesterday when Bitcoin rejected all-time highs, you got that dip over here. I'm like, okay, on this dip, I'm going to try and see if I can get in. I'm up like a little bit right now. It's not a huge position. It's just kind of like a starter position. But if we zoom out on this one, this is what I was talking about on that crypto video I just made the other night. Bitcoin is like all the way up here. There's a lot of coins that are still down here. And this coin specifically, they used to be mainly just like a VPN crypto. It was basically a VPN app that was backed by their token. But now they've kind of ventured out into like Web3. They've expanded a little bit into like staking the coin and stuff. So they've added a little bit to it. The price is a lot lower. And as you can see, I used to trade this back in the day when it would literally have like the craziest range from like 19 cents to $1. It would like literally 4 or 5 times in a row went down to 19 cents and went up to $1. Then it eventually broke 19 cents. And since it did that, it's been stuck in this range. And now it's finally trying to break out of this range. So I put a little bit of a starter position into this one. I already have a sell order placed for like half of the position, and then the other half we'll see. But yeah, that's just a new crypto I opened today. It's a very risky one. This is not any sort of blue chip crypto by any means. This is one of the riskiest cryptos probably on Coinbase, so please keep that in mind. And this is more of like a nostalgia trade for me, even though there is a range breakout. So I want to make sure I make all of that clear. If I am able to buy the other crypto, I'll talk about it. The only thing is like it's a very 50-50 project, and I don't really want to be talking about it if I'm not putting my money where my mouth is. So it's basically like AI meets crypto is kind of the idea of the project. If you scrape enough on Twitter right now, I'm sure you could find it. It's up a lot in the past few days. But maybe we'll come back to that later. But let's move into other markets really quickly. We saw a slight bounce today for both the 2-year Treasury after that hammer candle yesterday, and the 10-year Treasury is currently working on a little bit of a bounce off that 4% level. See what happens there. Finally, we were literally talking about this last night on the stream. The dollar currency got the breakdown. It was looking like it was ready to kind of flush. And today, you did see that 0.40% flush. Always have to sneeze. There we go. It's not a stream if I don't sneeze in the first 5 minutes. Silver, nice move today, up 2%. Still in this huge triangle. Gold has been the really beautiful one. I mean, we just watched this one go sideways for like 3 months, and then in 1 week it just kind of completely ripped back up to all-time highs. And then the GLD Gold Trust, I mean, this one is just a beautiful inverse head and shoulders breakout. This was on the watch list sent to premium members on Monday. And just to wrap up the other markets, Hang Seng Index open and flat. All right, the leading sector, it looked like financials had a pretty good day today, up 0.5%. Let's move on into the SPY. I am bearish on the market. Again, we now have quadruple classic bearish divergence on the RSI. There's classic bearish divergence on the MACD as well on the SPY. The typical indicators I use are pretty much all pointing to bearish right now. We're at the top of a wedge. We go over to the 4-hour time frame. You also have classic bearish divergence there. We go over to the 1-hour time frame. This is the pattern I have charted for right now. It's really not much, and that was kind of like a middle finger to the pattern, kind of breaking down and then going right back within it. So I am bearish on the SPY here. I'm not swinging puts or anything. I'm just kind of, when I day trade, I might lean a little bit more to going into puts than calls, which is what I did today. I didn't even actually alert any options today in premium, but I did take some trades myself. It looked a little bit too choppy for me to kind of alert something, because a lot of the trades I took, the second I got into those trades, I immediately placed my sell orders, and I don't want to be alerting when I'm trading like that. But I actually was able to catch a decent amount of like this flush over here, and my options account, I had a 10% green day today, so just kind of trade a little bit of this flush here on puts. Actually, I traded something else in the morning. I did quite a few scalps. I've been scalping a lot recently, which is why I've kind of been doing a little bit less of the alerts. I don't really like alerting scalps, but like even like yesterday I was scalping quite a bit. So a lot of my recent trades have been very quick, very, very small position sizes. And the second I get in, I place my orders because they're very volatile. 0 DTE types of trades. Speaking of 0 DTEs, I have a lot of videos on options on my channel. I have just a how to trade options 101 video on my course. I have like a 3-hour options workshop. I have a day trading options video. It's all in my free course. It's in the playlist on my YouTube channel. But I don't think I've ever really talked about 0 DTEs in any of them. And a decent amount of my day trading is 0 DTEs, and it's very risky, and you have to really understand risk management in order to do so. And if some of you didn't see the announcements, I'm going to start just posting regular videos again on YouTube. When this channel grew the most is when I was just posting regular videos. Streams it's really tough to grow a YouTube channel just off of streams. Like the whole entire way that YouTube Discover page works is off of videos, not really live streams for the most part. So I'm going to start posting some videos again. I also have a new partner I'm about to announce literally maybe tomorrow. So look out for new videos. One of the first of them, I know I just uploaded that crypto video a couple nights ago, but I'm also going to be uploading a video completely on 0 DTEs probably on Friday or Saturday. So make sure you have all these are free on my YouTube channel. Make sure you have your notifications on. It's that little bell next to the subscribe button so you get notified whenever I post those videos. All right, but yeah, that's really it for the SPY. Moving into the QQQ, it was a green day today. And we did have some comments from Powell that raised up the markets, and then we kind of gave some of it back intraday. We even had this little wedge. I shared this in premium at the end of the day. Got a nice little pop. But really the price action today was like gap up, immediately sell off, and then just kind of ups and downs. But if we go over to like the 1 hour time frame, like I said, this is really the key resistance, and we've kind of chopped a little bit above it twice now, over here and over here. This 440 level is the general area in which I'm bearish on the Qs if we are under it. And I mean, now let's see if we go to the 4 hour, like really this is your kind of flows above that level. Pretty much like this, and kind of these two. We've just been consistently closing on under, especially like that 441 area on the Qs. And it just seems like the bulls are starting to really lose momentum. If we look at the trend prior to this, every single time we faced a resistance, at least on the second or third try, we broke above it. Not once have we really spent like 4 tries trying to break the same level. So that's something I'm really keeping an eye on. We also have this 4 hour bearish engulfing candle, and on the daily classic bearish divergence. So look, we're sitting at the top of wedges on the daily with classic bearish divergence. We're past a lot of earnings that raised the market, especially Nvidia. And now we're going to I believe we have the FOMC in a couple of weeks here, so we're looking out for that. I don't really know what's going to be able to raise the market, and especially if some of these chip names start to cool down. I'm starting to flip to bearish here. So you know, I've remained pretty bullish on the market, continue to put out swings. The majority of this move up, you know, there was maybe a couple times where I flipped to bearish and I was wrong and we just kept ripping, like I'm sure many of you as well. But really what I've kind of decided a very long time ago, because back in the day, whenever I'd be bearish on the market, I just start swinging puts and like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna cash it, I'm gonna call the top. I'm not in the game of doing that anymore. Like, I am bearish. Well, that was my tweet. I'm gonna paste that there. I'm not really in the game of trying to just grab puts and swing them to predict it. Like, I'm just switching my bias. Maybe I'll do a little bit less of going long on certain names, and just wait to see if we get more confirmation, really. So that's it for those indices. The Russell 2000 still flirting with this breakout. It would be interesting to see a rotation from large caps to small caps. That's probably the market environment I would like the best, because the Russell is testing a breakout while the QQQ and the SPY are testing a breakdown. So if we do start to see some pullbacks, we're already seeing these pullbacks in names like Amazon, Tesla, Apple, Google, most of the names apart from the chip names, which, yeah, AMD, NVIDIA, SMC were all up 3% today. But a lot of like the regular names, Google was red today, Amazon was red today, Netflix was red today, Apple was red today. A lot of those names that are not necessarily chip names and didn't mention AI 300 times in their earnings are starting to pull back, and that's something to really keep note of. I mean, if we look at Apple next, this is like the first time you've broken the 200-day moving average since pretty much exactly a year ago. It's the first time you're consistently trading under the 200-day moving average in the past year. I actually do think that Apple might get a short-term relief bounce here as it approaches this support, and it's the most oversold it's been since like 2018, I believe, on the daily. So I don't think Apple's actually due for a bounce in the short term. But like maybe just to fill one of these gaps and then eventually actually like break down from 167 possibly, which would be a major double top breakdown. But I mean, just a lot of these names are just not looking great. I mean, if we take a look at Microsoft, it's testing a breakdown as we speak. We kind of had a doji candle to kind of test that breakdown today. If we take a look at Google, you just got a bearish engulfing candle breakdown of the 200-day moving average for the first time. The first time you're breaking it since March of 2022, 2 years ago. And the first time you're actually really under it since March of 2023, exactly 1 year ago. If you take a look at Amazon, it's kind of breaking down from this wedge with classic bearish divergence. Netflix breaking down from this wedge. We also identified this bearish Gartley on Netflix last night on stream. It already hit the PCZ of that. A lot of these names are not looking great. But yes, if we move over into chips really quickly, AMD up 3%, ripping higher after the breakout. Nvidia up 3%, ripping higher after another breakout. SMCI up 3%, hit new all-time highs today. Qualcomm up 3%, up 4%, actually testing a breakout of this 167 level. If you watched, I believe it was yesterday's stream, maybe from another week, but I was talking about how this zone was a very key breakout for Qualcomm, and it could go straight up to this level if it broke above that white zone, and that's quite literally what happened. MU only up 1% today, but it had a really nice move after that bull flag breakout. So look, we'll see what happens. I actually have like a stock market challenge in one of my classes, and like MU, I was like, all right, this bull flag looks good. That played out. Coinbase is like doubled. I literally bought it in my virtual game in my class, like right there, doubled. And it's like these names, like they're doing their thing, the crypto names, the chip names. But I also put a lot of money in Apple. Like over here, I'm like, oh, it's probably going to bounce off the 200-day moving average. And I really don't care enough to like manage that class portfolio actively when I'm day trading. But like when I'm actually trading for myself. So I don't really like mess around with it too much. But like I've just kind of watched it go. I went from like first place to like halfway down the list just because I put a decent amount on Apple and I haven't cared enough to stop out of it in that class. But it broke it. So you can see like these more like standard blue chip historical names from the past decade, like the FANG stocks, they're losing it. What's holding up the market right now is some of the crypto names for like growth stocks and then chip stocks. But apart from that, like even retail names are not really doing so great. We're just kind of starting to see this rollover. What is interesting is some of these Chinese names were up today. Let's take a look at that. NEO went down to 470. Take a look at that. That's like a gap fill. It finally filled that gap. Wow. We've been waiting a very long time for that, for those of you who watch the streams. NEO finally filled that gap yesterday. Bounced up today. I'm actually going to rechart this whole entire channel. I'm going to try this as a channel. Actually, all of it. There we go. Now it's testing a new wedge breakout after filling that gap. NEO looks pretty interesting. BILI testing a breakout like literally as we speak. So look, these Chinese names, it's like 1 week they look amazing technically, like right now, and then the next week they bear flag and sell off again. So like I don't know what's going to happen. Speaking of Chinese names, Baba is one of the swings. It was up a couple percent today. It broke out of the wedge. It's just really been going sideways since. Tesla is another swing. It's retesting really the lows of the swing, and this is a very important area. Either it bounces off this demand line area with the potential double bottom, or it could be headed down to test that 154 and get stopped out. So we will see. But these are all things to start keeping an eye on. Like we were talking about China, the yen ETF was up 16% or 6% today, not 16. It gapped up. So I think a lot of investors, and especially even more so traders, are confused. We're seeing kind of money separate into different parts of the market. Like looking at gambling stocks, Flutter was up 3% today. Premium members, I sent you this cup and handle. It's starting to play out pretty nicely. But DraftKings was down 2% today, and it looks pretty ugly. So it's like, even within some sectors, let's see how Penn looks. Like some names look good, some names look bad. Penn looked good, and then it looks like it got destroyed on earnings kind of, and now it's actually flipping the $18 support into a resistance. That's pretty ugly actually. So it's really looking to be more of a stock pickers market in the short term. That's more of the vibe I'm getting. We'll see how this all turns out. I'm gonna start clicking on some random names, see if we find anything. AMC is working on a higher low. It had a bullish engulfing yesterday. Let's take a look at GameStop. Okay, this is actually a premium swing trade. It almost hit the first target today. It was up 11% since the alert at the highs of the day. Nice move there. Let's talk about some of those names that made moves today. Palantir, look at that wedge breakout and back test. Beautiful. Up 10% today. Pretty big volume. Not sure if news came out. SoFi is hanging on by a thread currently. It's at the bottom of this triangle doji candle testing the breakdown. Just broke the 200-day moving average on Tuesday or yesterday. It's really hanging on by a thread. Pfizer was up 4%. Pfizer looks pretty interesting. Give me 1 second. So Pfizer looked interesting. BILI and NEO. Those might be some news swings. I just want to put them aside. Pfizer, take a look at this huge wedge testing a breakout with potential classic bullish divergence, and you're bouncing right off the COVID crash lows. It might be time to do some research on Pfizer. Oh my gosh. This is such a simple trade. Literally just throw a stop loss at, like, not financial advice, at like 25.50. Pfizer hasn't even seen 25.50 in over a decade. So the risk there, it's like a 7% risk. And then you don't even have a major resistance until 35. It's like a 7% risk and a potential 30% gain. Pfizer is going to definitely be one of my main watches. Let's see what else is moving. I will take a look at those tickers in the chat in 1 second. If you're not already, make sure to hit the subscribe button and turn on your post notifications. New video coming out this weekend, and I'll be live tomorrow night. On top of that, if you're not in the Discord, it's free to join. The link is down there, discord.gg/freetradingmovement. JD was up 16% today. I know Gold Miners talked a lot about this. This is a weekly chart. I mean, some of these weekly charts, wow. Wow, look at this. We're going to call this a stream gem. Pfizer and JD. Not posting in the Discord for right now. Not posting it on X right now. Just for the 20 of you watching the stream. These are called the stream gems. And then I'm going to post it in the Discord when some of these names go up 20%. And everyone's in the Discord is going to be like, why didn't you put it here? It's for the stream viewers, okay? But look at that. It's just the whole entire chart's a wedge. Add support. And then it's working on a big bullish engulfing candle with volume. JD, let's add that one to the list. Right now I have Pfizer, BILI, NEO, and JD for some names that look pretty interesting. Intel, let's go back to the daily time frame now. Intel was up 3% today. It's like kind of a weird place to work on a double bottom, but like literally in some of the technical analysis textbooks, when you go to the double bottom section, it looks exactly like something like this, like the shape of it. So that's pretty interesting. What's going on with Hewlett Packard Enterprise? Wow, look at this. Let's delete this for a second. Look at that breakout of $18. This is another chart I want to look at on the weekly. Look at that weekly breakout. Oh my. Plug was up 11%. It's working on a double bottom off of 258. I wonder why it's bouncing off of 258. Oh wait, that was the COVID crash low. There you go. I don't know. There's been a lot of reports coming out on whether or not EVs will be able to capture even more than a 30% market share in terms of vehicles. So I would definitely read up on some of those reports that will affect all of these names. Tesla, Plug, ChargePoint, NEO, Rivian, Fisker, you name it. Let's see. So GLD Weekly, I haven't taken a look at that. Pretty much looks similar to what we're talking about on the daily. I think above 194 looks bullish. Web3, interesting. I've been trying to learn more about it, reading the Cythetics. I don't even know how to pronounce that. I definitely got to look more into it. There was some Web3 project. There was some DSO, was it? DSO protocol or something. The decentralized, this was something I used to look into. I don't know what's happened with it. I haven't looked at it in a while. Time to reimagine the world of social. Oh wow, that I was literally talking the whole entire time and trying to read out everything because my mic was blocking it, and I don't have my mic added to that other scene. That's just great. But yeah, basically what I was saying as I was scrolling through the website is that it's basically just they're trying to build a social media that's decentralized and backed by this project. So it's just deso.com if any of you want to look at it. Repeat everything about this useless coin. I don't have any money in it. I'm not planning on putting any money in it. It was just a project I used to look at. So you're talking about Web3. I follow like their owner or something on Twitter. That's pretty awkward though. Just me just talking. I was giving so much analysis of the website, and it's just all of you seeing. That's basically what you were all seeing. That's just great. Honestly, do you even need to say more about some of these crypto projects, right? You need to. That's all that can be said sometimes about some of these projects. Whenever people try to explain to me like their Web3 or their NFT project or whatever, literally all I hear is, and then they'll throw like a blockchain in there, and then they'll go AI, staking, all the lovely words, the hot words. Meant to say, I don't even know how to pronounce the word. I tried. FDX, FedEx. That's in the 200 moving average. You really can't do much apart from that. Joe says, how do I get the identifier on the MACD? So you're talking about this. Go to the Discord. The link is down there. And then go over to should be Posen Scripts. Right there. MACD divergence indicator. There you go. It's FDX, LPSN. This one's just kind of in an ugly downtrend. That break under 230 was not great. There's really nothing I can do on a chart like that with the candle just going straight down. What's going on with Fisker? It was flat today. It really hasn't been moving. Ignore that pattern. It's really not much of anything. It's trying to find some support here at 40 cents. I mean, it tried to find support at 70 cents. And it tried to find some support at $1.40. Like it tried to find support there, fell down. Try to find support here, fell down. Trying to find it here, we will see. I have added a little bit to Fisker at 40 cents. My Fisker position, I think in the last month is like doubled or tripled. And it's still not even like something I'm sweating about at all. So I don't know, we'll see. I even have more money to add to it if it goes down to 30 cents. It's just, it's gotten to the point for the company where they go bankrupt, or they can maybe pull out the Neo story. I think somebody tweeted something similar to exactly what I just said today. Or they could pull out the Neo story where, oh look, it was trading at 13 to 10 bucks like Fisker was. Actually, Fisker was much higher at one point. It went all the way down to be a penny stock like Fisker is right now, and then it came back from it. Like, imagine how crazy that would be. If Fisker were to do this, like, let's say Fisker is somehow right here right now, if it were to do that, might be a good time. I don't even know. I was trying to make it like a joke, but you guys know what I'm talking about. Lots of charts are in nasty downtrends. I'd wait more. It's again, it's you define your own risk, right? So especially for that Pfizer one, whatever you're comfortable risking 6% of. I'm not telling you to do it. I'm just saying if I were to take that trade, whatever I'm comfortable risking whatever dollar amount I'm comfortable risking 6% of. So it's just a reward to risk trade. They are in downtrends. That's kind of like the whole point of them. If they break their key supports they're testing, the stop loss is there. And if they bounce, they bounce. Alright, so that's probably going to be it for tonight's stream. Thank you all for watching the stream. Appreciate it. Buying on to name it FTM. That would be great. How's FTM coin doing, by the way? You still agree with your fundamentals video on Fisker today? I've never once mentioned anything that I think has changed about the fundamentals. Fisker could go bankrupt and I would still agree on the fundamentals and just say they failed on the whole entire push of the car and the whole entire organizational aspect. But everything I think about the product remains the same. I actually did put out some posts on, like, somebody talked about the MKHBD thing or whatever. It was just clickbait. What a nice move for FTM coin. I don't remember everything I've ever said about Fisker, so I can't, like, for sure say that, but at least what I can remember in my head right now, most of the things I've said in my videos, when it was even up at $10, and even the video I made when it was at $1, not much has changed. That's why I'm buying it. If I thought the fundamentals got a lot worse, I wouldn't have been buying it here. But I do think the fundamentals are relatively the same. They just had a streak of bad decisions and bad news. And the stock price, in my opinion, overreacted to it a bit. On top of that, the sector for EVs is just really crappy. I mean, Rivian's losing so much, Lucid's losing so much, Rivian's losing, I just said Rivian. Tesla is losing so much in terms of stock price. So just a combination of a lot of factors. And I think what's going to be very important this year is whether or not, or they probably will, but the means in which they raise funds based on their spending, because that cash is getting a little bit tighter. So we'll see. Everything's possible. Now that the car is out in public, I like the car. We watched the video on the stream. You can go back to it. It's just fixable software issues, and he wanted to get a lot of views, and he did. That's exactly what he's good at doing, so he did it. I actually liked the guy until the video, and I lost my respect after it. So we'll see what happens. Look, if my whole entire Fisker position goes to 0, it's all good. Like that's why I know I talk about it so much, and people think I have like millions of dollars in it. I really don't. Like, I've made more money in one day, like on some of my best days, then that's my whole entire Fisker position right now. There's been times where in one day I've made more than that. So yeah, it's a decent amount of money, but it's not like I'm living on the streets if Fisker goes to 0. So we'll see what happens. Thank you all for watching the stream. Have a great night, and tomorrow night should be live at 8:30, hopefully, if I'm on time. And make sure you're in the Discord. Link is down there. Follow me on Twitter or X. And if you want to join Premium, the 50% code may or may not still work. I'm waiting to take that down. Definitely this week. Use code NEW for only new members to get 50% off your first subscription. You know, it's meant to be for monthly, but if you type it into annual and you get 50% off your first year, I didn't see anything. Thank you. Have a great night. And that link is in the pin chat, whop.com, WHOP.com/championvibe. I believe 10 wins and 2 losses in the last 12 option alerts. And the swings have been on fire too. So we'll see what happens.